G'day, listeners. Welcome to Barkarati, the Sailing Podcast. My name is Jordan Spencer, and I am just tickety-boo chuffed to be here for another week to talk about sailing and all the things that happen around our sport of sailing. It's kind of exciting. I'm kind of keen about what we're going to talk about this week. We've got a lot to share, so I need to bring in my good friend, Mr. Brett Perry.
Well, thanks, Brett. It was great having you on board. I'm not sure what you did, but...
Yes, got him.
Welcome, BP.
Tickety-boo chuffed.
Did you like that one?
Tickety-boo chuffed.
Yep, tickety-boo chuff, mate. I'm just making up words and phrases as we go. Shall we bring in the other bloke just so he can keep going? Yep, I'll take that as a yes. All right, and please welcome to the show.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Where are you, Bicey? Mr. Nick Bice.
Gentlemen, I wish our listeners could actually see where I am right now. And actually, speaking of which, that is our plan in the future to launch on YouTube as well.
Yep.
But I've banged on about it in the past of the new podcast studio that I've built in Henley Beach. But tonight's episode, I'm coming to everyone from a different level. I'm actually laying inside a swag at the Port Elliot Caravan Park.
Swag. You're so Aussie.
It is pretty full on. So for all those non-Aussie listeners, just look up what a swag is. But literally, that's what I'm laying inside at the moment, inside of a caravan park. And, we're actually trying a bit of new tech this week. We're moved away from Skype. We're trying Zoom.
Yep.
So we can record the podcast, and we're going to check it out, what it looks like from a video point of view. So we can actually publish it on YouTube at a later date. So let's see how we go.
Yeah.
Hello, testing.
That was very appropriate, BP. You were mid-live record. It worked. That worked.
Am I in? Can you hear me?
Yeah, mate. We got you good.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
And the other thing we're experimenting with this week is rather than going the special guest format, we're just going to throw across to one of our really good friends, Abby Ehler, and we want to talk in depth about the TP racing in Cape Town. So we thought that might chew, and just the balance with Abby, we're good friends, so we thought we might just try this as a different sound to see how it goes. So Abby, welcome to the show. Good to have you back on board. We love you, and we're happy to have you on, and thanks for taking time.
Thank you, guys. As always, it's a pleasure. It's good fun to chat with you guys. And yeah, nice to be back.
Right. So you're back.
Speaking of being back, Abby, did you just land this morning in the UK? What's been your travel in the last 24 hours with the regatta finishing literally 48 hours ago, or a bit less, actually?
Well, there were quite a few of us that got the overnight flight straight out after racing from Cape Town direct back to London. And then there's quite a few of the boys that are heading over to Antigua for the Caribbean season. So, yeah, lots of travel and a few kind of avoiding going home to Italy and
of course,
choosing to stay away from home. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting few weeks ahead with travel.
It is. So,
speaking of, were the planes full, or everyone was just freaking out, got their masks on?
No, actually,
or it was pretty normal?
The London flight was jam-packed. Jam-packed full. Yeah. And,
how are you going with toilet paper, Abby?
Yeah, I don't understand the whole toilet paper thing.
No,
I don't think anyone does.
It doesn't. It's just not an upset.
Thing was, I went to Coles today. That's our supermarket here, and I walked in, saw there was no toilet paper, and asked for some normal facial tissues, and they're gone too. The replacement toilet paper.
It's a weird one. I mean, this is not a virus that affects your tummy. So I'm not quite sure what the correlation is.
I don't know. I don't think anyone has a clue what's going on, but we're just not mowing the lawn at our place in case we need to go and do a run, lay tracks on the lawn.
Little drag down the front lawn, old mate.
Me and the neighbour's dog.
I just got this vision of Jordan.
No.
Stop. Go away.
No.
Move away. Move on.
Well, let's talk TPs. So the first regatta of the Super Series kicked off. I think it's 6 races from memory, the Super Series, and it was in Cape Town. Sail of the V&A at the waterfront there, which we all are very familiar with. Abby, you were on board Phoenix 12, which is a South African boat owned by Tina Plattner. Fantastic lady, Tina. We all like Tina. We get on quite well with her, and fantastic team. Tell us about, the regatta, your experience. Let's just run everyone through. It was kind of light wind for Cape Town, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess that was going into this event. If you had sort of predicted what it was going to be like, you would have said you're going to have strong southeasterlies. We're probably going to lose a day's sailing due to it being too windy. And in actual fact, it was probably a little bit the opposite in the big high pressure system coming over. So generally, 80% of the racing was probably in 8 to 15 knots of breeze. We had one day where the true Cape Doctor came through, really strong southeasterlies. We managed to get one race in, and then they sent us in because it was getting a little bit too sporty out there. And then the final day, unfortunately, we lost, due to absolutely being no wind.
It's crazy.
But I think it's just big high pressure systems coming through. Pretty unusual. But I guess it's that time of year where you don't know what you're going to get, really, and being such a fickle place in terms of the mechanics of the mountain and how that affects the wind in the Cape Town Bay is a huge factor. So you never really know what you're going to get there, but we definitely got our selection.
Yeah,
probably the same conditions, Abby, when you pipped Matt Frey on SCA coming in. Just no breeze at all. One of the greatest wins of all time. Well, the greatest overtakes of all time. But a fantastic place to sail, 100% Cape Town. With the Doctor, without the Doctor, Table Bay is really, really good, right?
Yeah, I think everyone massively enjoyed it. And the people that hadn't been there before were just, raving about not just the sailing, but the backdrop, and what as a city. I mean, it's just a fantastic place to hang out and spend time.
Pasquale Bar.
Can't comment on that. But even there was quite a few guys on our team that have been in the Volvo race before, and just the stories we were retelling about all the import races or the pro-ams or even the leg starts, where we'd gone from that shadow in the mountain where you go from absolutely being no breeze to 30, 40 knots of full on flogging. So we were recounting all of those memories with, plenty of stories.
That was that one 2-ish editions ago in Cape Town where it was just absolutely nuking. Did you guys break your battens in that one on SCA? Was that you pushed
No, I don't think so. I think there was a memory of, like, there were some boats that were in like 30 knots of breeze, and then there was other boats that were just floating around. I think that was the SCA year.
Yeah.
And I think we tried to do too much in the conditions, but yeah, it's such a unique place to sail with the effect that the mountain has. Yeah.
If you haven't sailed there, it gets incredibly windy, like you can't imagine. And that's the standard sea breeze almost. But then you've got this huge shadow of Table Mountain. And so you can literally be sailing in 40 knots or 0 knots. It's just quite incredible.
And also the bend as well, the shear, a lot of wind shear, and the bend as it comes around the land was huge. So we were seeing these huge banana courses,
wow.
which was adding to the tactical mishmash.
Did the mountain put on it? Did the mountain put on its display of that cloud that drops over the edge as it comes as that the the heat and that cloud that comes over the top of the mountain.
Yeah. And the locals will say that if there's clouds sitting on the top and you see it as it rolls over just the top edge, it completely disappears. So it sits on the top like a tablecloth. And the locals will say if that cloud is there, you're not going to sail. It's basically too windy. Right.
It's too windy. Oh, I didn't know that. Sorry. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's actually get to the regatta. So it was a pretty tight regatta when you look at the points. There was not a huge separation in points. In fact, second and third were tied for points, but the win went to Azura. Early on, Phoenix 11, your sister ship, I guess, Hasso, Tina's dad, his boat was leading in the first few days, had a great start to the regatta. But then Azura came through and sailed a brilliant regatta, and they hadn't been winning for a while, but, they are always near the top. What was your sort of view on the racing, how you thought it was all unfolding?
Yeah, it was an interesting one from the points because, as you said, there was no real clear leader. And I think someone made the comment that all of the boats had a last place or something like that. They, had a really bad result. And some of that was tactical. There was also a bit of, on one of the days we were racing quite close into the shore and we were racing over the kelp fields. So basically we were doing a bit of lawn mowing ourselves over there, which caught a few of the boats out, obviously trying to get the inside line, get clear air, but also takes you well into that kelp field.
Yeah.
And so there was a couple of boats which either, did a bit of a handbrake on or just picked up kelp and then I just, couldn't afford to stop. So pretty slow all the way around. And then, just that bias course due to the bend and I think caught a few people out. So there was no real clear dominant one boat throughout the week that was really, really there. And it was great to see that mix of results. But as always, really close racing and any mistake that you make is penalised heavily. That was a great, fun week in general.
Yeah. It looked pretty impressive to watch. So obviously they do pretty good coverage of the event. Were there any? I don't think there's any new boats in the fleet that I can think of. I haven't been following too closely, but this fleet is such a it's the Grand Prix fleet of the moment. Are there any new techniques or ideas or something that you've sort of noticed or picked up on just from that regatta, or is it the same, more of the same, just doing it better?
Yeah, it tends to be, from what I've seen, it's just more of the same. It's such a detailed class, or with this type of racing, it's very, very weight sensitive, very, what can we do? Is there anything we can do to make this maneuver faster, get the mechanics better? So it's a very finite class, and that's one thing that you really notice, particularly for me coming from perhaps more an offshore background, just how refined everything is, and you're very detailed in your role on board, and what you do, what you don't do, and just all the time just trying to refine the details.
Yeah. So obviously one of the reasons we're sort of focusing in on this regatta is that the next regatta is again in Cape Town, but it's the World Championships. And, the TP class is probably one of the preeminent classes going around, particularly in racing keel boats. So from a regatta planning, regatta management side of things, what do you think, your team, you guys came ninth. What do you think, what was the discussions that you can share with us about leading into the Worlds?
Well, I think it's just about trying to do everything that little bit better. Starting in this fleet is obviously a key thing, getting off the line clean. And one of our biggest issues is holding a lane and just having that height and boat speed, which we struggle a bit, just perhaps being the slightly older boat in the fleet. So for us, in terms of your tactical positioning on the fleet, is really important. We feel we've got really good downwind speed, but just struggling a little bit on the upwind. It's comes down to getting that good start, and everyone's trying to do the same thing. So, if there's any form of bias, it obviously then creates this massive bunch up, and it all plays out from there. But it really is just about doing everything that little bit better, being clean, and just max boat speed all the time.
Yep. I feel like my other hosts have gone to sleep. We can't quite see them at the moment.
No, I was just thinking, has Bicey sort of nodded off in his little bed there?
Yes.
No, my swag, my running off the hotspot off my phone inside the swag has caused me to turn my video off, so you can't see me actually just getting so enthusiastic and smiling and laughing and carrying on and just everything that's going on there, Abby. But what's the movements now ready for the World Champs? So obviously we've got Antigua coming up with Fairrun, but the World Champs are in 3 weeks? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So some of the Caribbean series, they've got the Antigua race week, St. Bart's Bucket, I believe it is, and then straight back to Cape Town. So I think we've got about 4 days of training before we lead into the Worlds itself.
Right. And is it going to be on the same course? Like you're talking about this banana effect with the bend. Is it the same stretch of water, or are they going to move it a little further out? Or
so for this event, we had 2 courses. One that could be over on the sort of western beaches opposite Cape Town itself. So that was a slightly more clearer area, a bit more offset from the mountain. But again, it's you're still seeing that slight bend around the land. And then the other course, which wasn't quite so favoured amongst some of the fleet because of the coastal aspect of it and the lawn mowing. Really nice to be so close to the shore. And I think there was a lot of people watching the racing from the shore that were enjoying the performance. But it wasn't very popular amongst the fleet, let's say. So, and then they we could move around the bay a little bit. The other slight issue was the ships anchoring in the harbour and just that becoming an obstacle on the course, which she was trying to avoid. The race officer, she's got a little bit of power with the Cape Town harbour to be able to move those ships around, but obviously it all takes time and planning. The mountain obviously puts a huge blanket over certain parts of the harbour. So I think she's probably got to stick to her sort of principles of the A or B course and finding a happy medium within those areas. So I think having the local knowledge was a huge help for both of the Phoenix teams. And let's be interesting to see if there's any changes in the other teams in terms of what resources they reach out to for the upcoming Worlds.
So if it was windier, say, during the Worlds, do you reckon the order would change around a little bit? So on that windy day, did you notice any sort of speed? Like Azura seemed to go well in the lighter stuff.
I can't really say, because on that particular day where we had a real big wind, we only did one race.
Yep.
And it was a huge split in the fleet. So it was ourselves, Phoenix 12, and a leg that took the right-hand side of the course, and we banged the corner. And the rest of the fleet all played the beach. And that was where a leg led round the top mark, and we were second. Right. And managed to hold on relatively to our positioning. So it wasn't really a fair fleet race if you're looking at it from that angle. I think it's also like, blowing the cobwebs off a little bit, where you've come into this event and perhaps you haven't sailed the boat for a few months. So, getting used to sailing these boats in 20 plus knots is always, they're a bit of a handful, and carrying out maneuvers, the mechanics just need to be really down pan, and the whole dropping the kite at the bottom mark is always a high risk maneuver. So I think that's just getting some more hours training in those conditions is going to be key for the teams. And we'll just have to wait and see, I guess, what happens come the Worlds.
So if I twisted your arm and said, who's going to win the Worlds, apart from yourselves, so let's say Phoenix 12, let's just remove that from the equation. If you had to put money on now, who would you put the money on?
Yeah, I'm going to say Azura.
Yeah.
They're the rock solid team.
Yeah. Okay.
They seem to have that consistency, which they showed last season. And yeah, I'd put my money there.
What about you
Second
guys?
to us.
Do you guys go on?
My question, so what did we have, 10 teams at that last regatta? There's obviously no more teams coming. So the same 10 teams are there. My observations were Hasso pulled an absolute cracker out of the bag, second overall, well, equal with Quantum. I agree. Azura have always been they're a long-time campaigner of the actual TP Super Series, and they took the biltong, obviously, in the last regatta. And a quick point here, gentlemen and Abby. So Quantum and Azura are the only two teams to have won the 52 Super Series Championship. Quantum won in 13, 14, 16, and 18, and Azura were winners in 12, 15, 17, 19. So it's, what you would assume are the top two. But I'm going Hasso for the Worlds.
Bit of a favourite, Hasso, giving Hasso a bit of love.
Bit of a favourite, yeah. Well, and let's face it, between Hasso and Tina, they're probably the two who have got this regatta in Cape Town.
Sure.
And I was just chatting to a few of the other guys from the TPs who were so excited to get to Cape Town to do this regatta, and just only today heard from another guy said, Cape Town, what a fantastic place to sail. What a cool place. Just, again, as you said, Abby, not only to sail, but also just the social side, just to be in another part of the world as opposed to just another regatta in the Med. So, again,
indeed,
my money's on Hasso, but such a cool place.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think there was a lot of, sometimes Cape Town or South Africa in general has that misconception of it's a lot of crime, it's an unsafe place to be. But I mean, Cape Town is just a fantastic city. And I'm sure the teams that were there have enjoyed it, just having the mountain, being able to go and climb Table Mountain or Lion's Head, having the beaches there for surfing. I mean, there's just so much variety, so much to offer. And the fact that it's Southern Hemisphere, it's meant that the class can get 2 regattas there. It's out of season compared to the Med, so it effectively broadens the scope of the series. Going somewhere completely different. And yeah, I really think everyone enjoyed it, and they'll be looking forward to going back in a few weeks.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we enjoyed watching it. Abs, one of the sponsors of the event was 11th Hour Racing. You did a run across the Atlantic. You're obviously trialling for the Ocean Race with Charlie and Mark's team, and we saw some video. So can we talk without sort of going over anything that you're not allowed to talk about? We don't want you to miss out on an opportunity just to talk to us. So what was it like sailing the 60 in a fully crewed, because you had, 5 sailors and a reporter? That was your setup, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So the whole aim of the trip was to do it in the configuration that the next ocean race is set up for, which is 5 sailors, 1 OBR. And so it was definitely interesting. I mean, I've never sailed a foiling boat before, so the sailing was absolutely insane. I mean, the speed that the boat is consistently holding is just, so much more. So much faster, so much. The consistency is the thing that you notice more over a traditional monohull, where you get a much more of a stop-start movement. Effectively, as you're crashing into a wave, the boat stops, you pop your nose up, and you go again. Whereas this is just slightly elevated out the water, more like being in a rib.
Yeah, right.
So it's just that consistent speed, but there's slamming. It's just like a consistent boom, 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 boom as you pat your way over the waves, a bit like a skimming stone. So a very different experience. The whole sort of being inside, again, is very different. You lose that feeling of apparent wind on your face, or being able to see the waves firsthand and look at the sails and so forth. So it's a very different style of any of the other sailing in, say, traditional offshore fully crewed racing.
Probably the best description of sailing one of those boats we've had. So awesome.
What a skimming stone.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows how to skim a stone,
So
right?
did the boat you're on, Hugo Boss, did they any mods from the last Fondo, like new foils or anything, or just as is?
I believe it's as is, but currently undergoing some mods just to make it a little more user friendly with a bigger crew, and also to trial out some foils. For going forwards.
And
the whole.
How do you all fit in? 5 people on board. Was it
with difficulty?
A cram.
Oh man, it was pretty uncomfortable. I mean, there were no bunks down below. We took a couple of bean bags and mattress. We started.
Sounds like my delivery home from Port Lincoln the other day.
I mean, it was. I think by the end, it was all kind of taking its toll on everyone. You all start sleeping to weather. By the end of the trip, we were all scattered anywhere, mainly to Leeward, because it was the most comfortable place. There's obviously a lot of rethinking into creating enough space and comfort factor to be able to exist on one of those boats for 20 to 30 days at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because you were on board Langford, I noticed. We had looking at the video, we pretty much recognised everyone on board, but Langford was on board, Kyle Langford, who's been sailing the Sail GP. So he's sailing the Falling Cats and then going on to this. Did he talk about the difference in the falling at all, or the way you control the boats? Did he mention anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kyle's super interested and has a great mind for how these foils work, and shape profiles, and the differences obviously in Sail GP, where they're able to control the rake instantly, whereas this setup it's a set your foil and off you go, and it's so Carl's very interested in how we can bring those technology from GP across to this class, and to be able to perhaps get some more reactivity and movement in the boards. So it's definitely a great sort of cross-pollination of experience.
Right. Did he get to stand up straight at any stage on that trip?
When he was on the bow, because it wasn't it wasn't in the cockpit.
It definitely didn't fit. That boat did not fit Kyle in any shape or form.
When he was lying fore and aft, that's about it.
I mean, it's very different, and I mean, just to be able to sort of stick your head up over the hatch, and even to just get on deck, it's the boat. You've got to be pretty careful where stepping outside of that safety zone. And it's easy to get sucked into this. You don't realise how fast the boat's going, and you're just in your shorts and t-shirt, and stick your head up just to maybe go and have a look out to check the sails, or you want to go and just tighten something up or what have you. But you're suddenly stepping out onto a deck where you're so exposed, and the boat's probably doing 20 plus knots, and you realise, shit, one wave and I'm over the side. So compared to if you'd been in a Volvo, the 65 or on the Volvo 70s, you'd be fully kitted up, clipped on, life jacket on. So it's a very false environment being inside that little cocoon.
So what sort of speeds are you seeing?
Oh no, go ahead.
Sorry, boss. Abs, what sort of speeds were on the instruments?
I mean, I think we topped out high 30s, but consistently you'd be doing over 20 for anything over 14 knots and slightly cracked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super cool. Did you have something, boss?
No, I was just going to say, Abby, in the interest of not going over our 10 minutes, which we promised you.
We're only at 6 minutes so far. It's all right.
T-foils on the rudders. Is this something I Mocha have totally missed?
Well,
or it doesn't matter?
Yeah. I'm probably completely the wrong person to ask, because I don't have that knowledge. But I think, again, Kyle would be your man to ask, and that was something that we definitely discussed on the trip. And and you speak to sort of anyone involved in aviation, and obviously that's it's all about the tail foil. The wings are just there for
that's right,
for balance. So I don't know the answer, but there must be. There must be something to look into.
I'm seeing a bit of a trend. Here. We've got Abby. You've been on before. This is your second time. You're the second person to achieve that feat. We had Sci-Fi on, obviously, who got 2 in a row. So, are we going to have to get Kyle back on to go through in detail his thoughts here, boys?
Oh, he's probably surrounded by lots of women back in Sweden, isn't he?
Yeah. Exactly.
Why would he want that when he
flashing the blonde hair down Stockholm?
Why would he want that when he come on Bar Karate?
Well, he likes. Who knows? Actually, speaking of the SailGP stuff, Abs, your husband. Well, actually, I shouldn't dob him in. He works on the show. I was going to say, you got any secrets from SailGP, the first edition, or any? Are the Poms crying?
Any insights?
Yeah, the Poms crying. It's Ainsley's team, which is, I think, a lot of Aussies, isn't it? Are they crying?
His only comment was just how phenomenal the Brits were.
Yeah.
He just said, to come, they'd be perhaps fourth across the start line, 10 seconds behind, and yet come the upwind leg, they'd be back out the front. And just, I think there was another instance where they'd started late, and there was a lot of chit chat about, are they actually going to start the race? And then sure enough, they do. And again, they pull back to the front. So whatever they're doing something right.
Yeah.
But I think that's a real surprise to everyone.
Yeah.
That's, obviously after Bermuda, where perhaps it comes down to the boat they were in, and the systems they had on board in Bermuda were obviously a lot more complicated, whereas GP, it's all been refined and the boats are much easier to sail. But I guess also having Goobs and Parker with them has helped massively, given that they came off the winning boat from last season. So
and they're Aussies,
of course. So,
not the winning boat, but
the second
Aussie boat. Yeah.
Second Aussie boat. That's got to help.
Japan.
Good for them.
God, we're rude. Actually, just a quick question for Tom. Did he have to chase any of the VIP spectator boats off the course?
There's only one VIP spectator boat, mate, that he needs to take out, and that's when you're on that one, mate.
Poor so this brings up a little funny story. I was sailing today. I had TK Tony Kirby on board, and he was at the event last week, and he was dropping anchor right on the on the edge there of the track, and he dropped the anchor, and this the marine police, or whatever you want to call them, came up to him and said, you have to move from me, He says, mate, I'm just dropping my anchor. And he goes, and they go, no, you have to move. So anyway, they wandered off, and he dropped his anchor where he originally started, dropped his anchor, and he obviously laid his warp out and came back about 20, 30 metres behind the track, and they come over and said, thanks for moving your boat, mate. See, no worries, buddy.
Right.
Just lay the anchor out.
They've got to understand scope.
Off track again.
Oh, dear. All right, Abs, I think we've sort of chewed up everything we can. Is there anything you need to tell us that we haven't thought of?
Come on, Abby. Give us something good.
Come on.
Today is International Women's Day.
Ah, good one, Abby.
Yes.
Well played.
Oh,
And actually, why don't you give us a little Magenta project update based on that?
Well, got lots of cool events coming up, and some exciting news is we're expanding the board of directors just to give us a bit more diversity, to give us a bit more scope. And so we've brought Andrew Pinder has joined us, who has been pretty fanatic about supporting sailing, and particularly women in sailing, over the past number of years.
Never heard of him.
wasn't he on the show once?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Keep going, Ab.
So yeah, in terms of what we've got going on, we're running a mentoring scheme, which Brett, you will know all about, given the fact that you
Yes,
are
I do.
mentoring one of our Aussie young up-and-coming sailors.
I am.
And that's very exciting. We've got about 34 pairs across the globe, and that's aimed at really having someone to guide them in their pathway, or just to have someone to check in with, to aspire to be, and so forth. We have joined up with Sunsail here in the UK, and we've got use of one of their fleet, the Jeannot 40s, and we'll be using that to do some training and some racing, for the next couple of years, really aiming just to get more women on the water and help them grow and learn and think, so forth. And then also teaming up with the RYA here in the UK to do a number of training days, keelboat race training days, which have been run by Helena Lucas, who's a Paralympian gold medalist. And yeah, so plenty of exciting projects and hopefully more to come.
Actually, just one more question before we go and say thanks. If you are a female sailor, or you are someone that wants to become involved in the Magenta project and help facilitate this, how can they reach out? What's the best way to contact? Is it just go to the website?
Yeah, we either go to the website, which is just themagentaproject.org, or on any of our social media, so Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Just shoot us a message, and there's one of us will come back to you.
All right, cool. All right,
Awesome. Thanks, Abby.
It was awesome, and happy International Women's Day.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Sorry for taking away from your little family, but thank you for taking
No worries.
the time.
No wores. Have a good one. See you guys.
See you, Ab.
Cheers, Abby.
Lovely chatting.
See you,
Ab.
mate.
See you, Ab.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was fun. We always like talking to her, don't we? One of our favourite times.
She's good.
She's always good.
Very good.
Gentlemen, a blast from the past. The Worrell 1000 is back. Have you guys...
Oh, mate, I thought you were going to talk about the Ultimate 30s or something like that.
No.
Remember those things?
Yeah.
Down San Francisco?
Yep.
But you've nailed it. Worrell 1000.
Do you remember these, BP? Do you remember the Worrell 1000?
No, this is out of my... I'm just trying to work out where we're at. No, this is out of my league, this one.
Really? So...
Yeah.
That's right. So I'll just give you some background. So as a young fella, I remember reading a magazine called Australian Sailing, which used to be published here in Australia, and you'd hear this story of this 1,000-mile race where they're up the Miami coast. I think it's the east coast of Miami. Yep. And, they'd race catamarans. And I think back in the day it was Hobie 16s originally. And it went on. And I think... for those youngsters listening in, a magazine is the way we used to get news out of.
Hey, just on that. So I brought a magazine for the young fella, Toby, to read the other day, and he's trying to swipe through the photos.
Oh. You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
No, he wasn't.
No.
I just made that up.
Mine was.
Well, let's get back to the Worrell. Anyway, so this was always this cool story, and I used to love the idea of it because it went on, and they'd race, 100 miles in the day, and then they'd pull up onto a beach and there'd be waves, because it is wavy, and, things would get ruined and they'd get exhausted and rah, and it went on and on and on. And it went from 76 to 2002, I think it was, and I think majority of the races were won by a bloke called Randy Smythe. And I thought it was...
By the way, good name.
Good name.
Well, especially in Australia.
Yep.
Randy,
yep, absolutely. And I thought it was dead, but it's come back. And they actually raced it last year in NACRA Carbon 20s, but they only had 3 teams. But they've gone again for next year. They're going to be doing it again, and they've got a maximum number of teams involved, which is 15, and they're already up to 11. Up to 11, and they're going to be in F18s, the Formula 18s. So they've already got 4 teams from the US, 3 teams from Australia, the Netherlands, South Africa, Germany, and France. So it looks like it's back on, and I'm fired up. From Hollywood,
well, are we going to do it?
I knew that was coming,
mate.
I knew that was coming.
We can't even print a bloody T-shirt, let alone do the Worrell 1000.
We've got to land one of these promises.
Well, what I have done, gentlemen, is the team Australia actually won it last year, and the manager of the team is a bloke by the name of Brett White, and I gave him a quick call and had a bit of a chat. So, do you want to listen to the audio so we can and have a bit more knowledge on it?
Yeah, bring us in.
Okay, bring it in.
Go.
All right, lads. So let's just talk about the Worrell 1000. As I said, we've got that's back on the agenda these days, and I thought I'd get in touch with Brett White. I've got him on the line. Brett, how you going, mate?
Not bad. Good to hear from you.
Yeah. Thanks for joining Bar Karate. The Worrell 1000 for me is this event where people did a ridiculous distance, 1,000 miles, basically along the coast of Miami. And I thought it had gone and disappeared, and now I heard it was back on. And just talking to you just then, I noticed that we've already had one more edition. The last race was 2002, and you managed the team for 2019, and it's going again in 2021. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, no, we're all looking forward to it, and hopefully taking probably at least 3 teams to compete this next time. And just the logistics of that, having boats either sent over there and relying on people to help us from that side of the world over in Florida. You got all the states running up the east coast of Florida, and basically, like you said, from Miami, well, it's from Fort Lauderdale or Hollywood Beach, and you have about 13 stops, and basically every night you stop somewhere, and you complete that mile series of probably can vary from 120 miles a day to 80 miles a day, and the whole trip is 1,000 miles, and it can be quite daunting depending on the weather and what conditions we get,
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to you just before we started recording, I remember all the stories about the Worrell in Australian sailing for many, many years. And then, I'm just looking here at a bit of the history of the event, and, the numbers were quite low initially, but it bumped up into around the turn of the century, 2000s. It was 23, 29, 25 people. And then it sort of just disappeared, and you had 3 last time in 2019. And now, from what I understand, there's a maximum limit of 15, and it's basically you've already up to that maximum limit in terms of entries a year out from the event.
Look, it's exciting news for the organisers over in the States, which we stay in touch with, and basically the sponsorship that's no doubt with social media getting out there and giving good plugs to all the companies and restaurants involved, that the organisers, when we did the race with 3, there would have been more, except a few pulled out, and they just found it a bit awkward, thinking that they wouldn't be able to get accommodation and what have you. And it's important to be able to not just be camping in a tent or something on the way up, because you need a good ground crew to help you on the way, and that is probably the number 1 priority. Number 2 is if you do have breakages on your boat, or someone in the team falls ill or injures themselves. I think it's so important that you have a good team crew, and that's the secret of the whole event, that things run smoothly. Look, the camaraderie with not just your own team, but everybody else that surrounds you is just something I've never found in other events. This is just so special. It's everybody's helping everybody, and I think honestly that's what got us over the line with that 3-man race. They just wanted the 3 boats to start and the 3 boats finished, and that was just something special, because that's what sparked the interest again for this next lot of entries. And look at it now, we're still well out from 12 months before the event starts, and the entries are full. And the reason they've capped it off at 15 is you got to think of your ground crew, and everybody's staying in a motel. Those motels, wherever we stay each night, they're all booked out,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, popular part of the stateside, Miami. You get a lot of interesting people cruising up and down that coastline, and I guess you guys are adding to that. The great name associated with the event, of course, is Randy Smythe. I think for those who do remember the event from the past, he was the man that dominated it for so long. And I mean, go on.
Yeah, no, look, you can say that, but there's a lot of competitors. You can talk about Rob Waterhouse. He's one of the dark horses that's always out there, and Rod and myself, we definitely, we know that these people are around, and I as dearly as much as we all love a good Aussie hero, I reckon he's one of them. So he's been and done a lot of these events, and he knows that coastline probably better than most, and Randy Smythe, we just got to keep an eye on him, that he, I won't say this, but if he follows the rules, he's going to be a good bloke to get on with.
We love a bit of banter like that, throwing the gauntlet down. We'll say.
Yeah, we've got to keep an eye on him, If he can sell an F18, so can we,
Yep, okay. Yeah. So obviously the event in 2019, Rod Waterhouse won with Bo White, and sailed in the NACRA Carbon 20. What's the event in next time around?
Well, they've restricted it to a box reel class, which is the F18.
Yep.
Very popular, probably one of the most popular 18-foot catamaran classes in the world.
Yep.
And to be honest, it'll make it hopefully more affordable, easier to get parts for boats, interchangeable mainly with other boats. For if you tear a sail, you can borrow a sail off another boat or whatever. So the Carbon 20s, there's not a big fleet of them around, but man, what a boat! Like if we could do them in Carbon 20s, it'd be the way to go. We were lucky we did them with the Carbon 20s last year. Such a much more quicker boat, but it's the nightmare of having the right size trailer, the right vehicle to tow it, having spares like spare carbon mast where the F18s are only aluminium mast. So we take not a backward step. In fairness, the F18s have made inroads, and they are going a lot quicker than they used to. So they've got new deck sweeper sails. There's better dynamics with their centerboards and rudders, and they're not a foiling boat. They're still a platform boat in the water, and basically they skim on the water much like they're a displacement hull and not a submersible hull through the water like the old Hobie Tigers. So we're definitely make the race much more interesting and much fairer too. It'll keep us all close together on the coast. Every boat, I would presume, because we keep the numbers down, is that they're going to, a bit like the Hobart, they'll have trackers on each individual boat, and every boat will be looked at live all around the world when the race is on. And that's what got that 3-boat race going, where we had trackers and people could see exactly which direction or what we were doing and how we were going about the day's movement up the coast. And honestly, I did a leg from Virginia Beach to Tybee Island, which is the longest leg, 120 mile, and it was amazing to know that if you don't have the right navigational equipment on board, like we have a electronic compass, but you're allowed these sort of instruments on your boat these days to help you guide your way up the coast to miss obstacles and sandbars and what have you, and it's a safety factor too, which is brought into the Worrell as well. Everyone's got an individual EPIRB. Coast Guard in America is pretty good. They'll jump on you if you're in distress, and so the whole event is made so it's safe. Definitely like the Hobart after that 98, in Hobart when they had all their problems, and the weather can throw anything at you, and especially over there off the Bermuda Triangle in that part of the world.
Yeah, I was going to talk about all that stuff, but what we'll do, mate, is we'll just what we'll do is just before the event gets underway, maybe we could have a bit of we'll do a full focus on you guys and just really get behind you and talk about the whole event. So in about a year's time, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. Course record.
We'd love to, and the Yanks would love to hear from you guys too. They're the ones that are putting and promoting the regatta, or not the regatta, the long distance race.
Yeah. Cool. And the course record is 71 hours, 71 and a half hours. So not much sleep for those on board. Obviously tiring, and for the support crew. Sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a full on 2 weeks, and whether you're on dry land or you're out there sailing the distance out to sea, it's depending on the weather conditions, you can come back really like it's a marathon, So
yeah, cool.
Yeah, but no, heaps of fun, and it's good for the sponsors, good for everyone, and this podcast that you're doing, Karate, looking forward to it.
All right, mate. Good. No worries. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time, Brett.
No, thanks, George. Thanks for everything, mate. We'll be in touch.
There we go, boys. What do we think?
1,000 miles on a catamaran. That's what I think. Can I think anything else? Oh God! I mean, you got to love it. You got to love the. Actually, I'll tell you what I do enjoy about that particular chat was the fact that they, they touched on the fact that they're allowed some navigational aids, and they're allowed some, they've got a bit more safety factor involved. And you could just imagine it back in the early 70s, couldn't you? Just a couple of blokes sitting on a beach going, we're going to go sailing and end up 1,000 miles up the coast.
Yeah. Well, they used to carry their charts in plastic bags and do all that sort of stuff. You read all those stories. It was quite incredible. Now, I know the organisers are listening in to Bar Karate. I know they listen. So to the organisers, best of luck. I hope you have a great regatta. And, of course, Bar Karate can just broadcast live from the event. That could be a go. 15 days straight.
Right. There we go. That sounds like fun.
Sounds like a normal week for me. 15 days straight of talking.
And we never, ever get sick of it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
We don't.
You're fit.
That's the truth.
No, but the truth is 15 days worth of talking within 1 week.
That's right.
Yes. There's always that extra day pushed in there, isn't there?
Yep. All right. So Worrell 1000, if you haven't paid attention, get onto it, because it is a cracking event. I mean, I like that. And the one they've got up in the archipelagos in is it Sweden or Norway or something, where they go and smash into the rocks?
Sweden.
Yeah. That one's, I'm interested in that as well.
Yeah, that's a cracker too.
Yeah, so we should start doing these sorts of things. All right, let's move on, boys.
More events.
Well, the question is, are there going to be any events, BP? I know you're going to roll your eyes.
I just think we've got a very busy couple of years coming up from what we're talking about.
No, well, but I'm just saying that with the coronavirus, nothing's going ahead now.
Oh, yeah, well.
The good news is I've been thinking about this today, we've got a toilet paper shortage in Australia.
Yep.
But the Olympics will go ahead because they use bidets over there, right?
That's right. Well, the special toilets rather than a bidet, but the same thing.
Yeah,
and they've got
you don't need toilet paper.
That's right.
And they've got big front lawns.
No, they don't. You don't want to be dragging your ass on a Japanese lawn, mate.
Bit of concrete.
So, well, it's a senior IOC. Go on, boss.
Yeah, no. What's your gut feeling here? Because, I mean, I've been reading. I'm about to jump on a plane in a few days' time. Mm-hmm. Jordan, you're in a plane in about 10 days' time. Are you really scared?
Not me. No. Not me.
No,
not me.
I'm with you.
I
can't believe the hysteria. I cannot believe it.
Yep. So, well, let's add to the hysteria. So let's just detail it a bit. What's going on?
Let's add to it.
Yeah. A senior IOC official says it's likely that rather than delaying the Olympics, if it is too dangerous, they're going to cancel the Olympics. It'll just be straight cancelled. So all those people out there training will be all that time and money gone down the drain. And I mean, I've got a couple of people staying with us at the moment who are we occasionally get the top triathletes in the world stay at my house for some reason, and they're all trying out for the Olympics. So I watch them train their asses off every day while I sit back and have a beer. And
I was going to say, just turn them into alcoholics. Shit, I should come up there.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine that, just corrupting old mate from Belarus.
Yeah.
We'll put him in the box.
Anyway,
it's been a big day, a bit thirsty.
Bit thirsty, that's it. That's right. Don't go training.
He's just run 100 kilometres and done 42 kilometres on the bike and whatever else.
That's it. That's pretty much
might crack into one.
It's a triathlon.
And then the beers, yeah, that's it. So IOC said that. Dean Barker has just come out and said ahead of the first event of the World Series for the America's Cup, it's in Cagliari. He said it's a risky proposition following the realities of the outbreak in Italy, and wants the AC World Series to make a call on it because it's due early next month, I think, from memory. Boss, that's probably what I'm going to play for.
Well, the thing is, he is there right now.
Yeah.
He is in Cagliari. So what's he care? He's guaranteed to sail, guaranteed to I reckon he is trying to force the organisers into saying, let's do this. So no one else turns up and they win.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay.
But it's not a toilet paper thing, is it?
No. But, I mean, it's not just our sport. Like, so Bossy and I are both mad for cycling. Milan San Remo's just been delayed. The Pope just didn't do his Sunday address in Italy because he didn't want to.
And that's something else we're fully into.
And Ferrari.
Sunday dresses.
Ferrari mightn't be able to come to the Australian Formula One.
And as Ricciardo has just said, if there is no Ferrari, there is no Formula One.
It's like if there's no BICE, there's no Volvo Ocean Race.
Well, given there's no Volvo Ocean Race, there's no BICE.
Look,
it's a sad day.
Problem is we can make light of all this and jokes about it, but they don't want to spread the virus. The best way to handle it is to actually control. It's not a joking matter for the officials. So whatever they decide, it's with the best information they can get, unless it's in the United States because they're not getting great information out of their president. But
when do they ever?
Yeah. But I was just listening to some of the things.
That's your personal thoughts. We don't talk politics.
No politics.
Right, correct. Sorry.
I wasn't talking his politics. I was talking just what he said about this. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so whatever they decide, we'll make a joke about it, but that's about it. We actually won't have a true view on it because that's what we do. But
Not us.
Yeah,
It's not us.
Yeah, but let's hope everything goes ahead, particularly for the Olympic athletes. I think that would be pretty, and the America's Cup. It even just could any of this.
Yeah,
I
I concur. What a pity to be shutting sporting events down on. Again, I must admit, I'm not in a position to actually have my health. I'm not part of the WHO. So, yeah, but it seems a bit of hysteria.
Anyway. All right, well, let's get close to home on a couple of good things that we can make happen. There's a few events that we want to just sort of put our hands up and publicise, particularly...
Love this.
So the first one is the Sailing to Recovery Regatta. So Gippsland, you'll all remember just a month ago, was completely inundated with fire and they need a helping hand. So we're going to have a regatta on the beautiful Matung for a sailing regatta on the weekend of the 2nd and 3rd of May. So the philosophy is come with an empty esky, spend a few dollars at the club and around the township of Matung and Gippsland and enjoy a sailing regatta.
Wasn't this what you mentioned many moons ago, Bryce? You sort of had this as an idea?
It was. He did.
Oh, yeah. It's more based around...
Not that we're taking it away from these guys who are organising it, but it was an idea. You said go and spend money in these areas, and I think it's a great cause. I love it.
I believe at the time is when you walk into a bottle shop and you're about to buy a bottle of wine or a beer or something, think about the places that are affected. And as it turns out, Matung is, the region of Matung Yacht Club is affected. So this is even better. Get there, get your boat down there, empty esky, fill your esky up, spend some time in town, have a good time. Awesome.
Go and have a pie.
Going to be a good regatta. Yep.
Yeah.
So we got this note from one of our good mates, Alistair Murray, AM, who is the chairman of Ronston.
Morning.
Vice president or vice chairman of the Australian Sailing. So he sent us the note, and because he told us to, we're publicising this. No, we did it. He just sent it to us and asked us to publicise it, and we're 100% behind it. So he's got Ronston behind it, and I think, I don't know anything about the regatta yet, but I think if you could either go to the Ronston website or you could just Google Matung, METUNG, and you'll find their sailing regatta. And we'll put actually, did you put it up, BP? I think one of us put it already on our Facebook page.
No, well, it came via.
No, we've shared it. We've shared it.
We shared it. Yeah,
Bar Karate.
It also came via an email from Stephen Brayshaw
as well. That's right.
And, I bumped into him at the Hall of Fame Awards, and but this is all it's all good. It's these are high profile people, and there's going to be
when you were picking up his glasses, or
he was a seat filler.
Yeah, when I was, sir, would you like the roast pork or the chicken?
Chicken or pork?
That wouldn't have happened, BP. They're two white meats. They're two white meats. That would have never happened. You would have had one or the other.
Fish or meat.
How many times I go to Hall of Fame dinners then, doesn't
it? There's another regatta coming up. The Lake Keep It Sailing Club, KEEPIT, the Lake Keep It Sailing Club, has got a regatta on the June long weekend. Their 60th anniversary for their regatta. They've been doing it tough with the drought. Their dam, where all their water and stuff comes from, was at 0.3% last year.
Wow.
So the dam is now at 11%. Obviously, they're just overflowing with water. It's so tough.
How would the X go there, BP?
I was just about to say, I'm struggling with the X there. 2.1 draft. She might be struggling.
Raise your centreboard, old chap.
Absolutely.
Well, I can, but I've only got a little bit of wood to hold it up.
All right. Well, that regatta is all classes and sailors. Club hospitality is legendary. Head along to that one as well. So if you want to go away, have a bit of fun and just visit a bit of country Australia and have do something a bit different, or you want to get back into sailing, just go down to one of those events and it will be a ton of fun. Everyone's happy with that?
Yeah, from what I hear, both events have got a bunch of come and tries and stuff, so all sorts of stuff going on. So get on down there.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. What boat are we buying this week, gentlemen? Anyone want to buy a boat?
I want to buy a boat.
Okay. Have you got a special one for the week?
No, not yet. I haven't this week.
I am buying the Energy Observer.
Oh,
I saw this.
We're in a bidding war.
The Energy Observer, which was the started its life as the as tag catamaran, sorry, which was designed by Nigel Irons, and it was one of the first boats ever to break 500 miles in 24 hours in 1984.
So why do you want to buy this, Bice? Because the monohull can do that.
Okay. So what's happened with this boat now? They've turned it into a super duper exploration machine, but it has been traveling and it will continue traveling around the world on zero fossil fuel.
It's cool.
So it is cool. So it had me thinking.
Here we go.
A boat this old, and I read a few blogs about it and followed a few comments, whether it's on the book or whatever it is, about how much it cost to actually produce a boat to do this. And my thought then was, for all these races going forward, whether it's the ocean race, whether it's the Vendée, whatever it is, why don't they just make it? Don's. Well, can't do it in Don's, but why don't they just make the rule zero fossil fuel, and that would then force the manufacturers of diesel engines to actually produce something that has zero fossil fuel.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, because I'll tell you why I understand what you're trying to say. Because the new double-handed thing that's coming in for the tours over the coming, which is going to happen over the next few years, I suppose. The Hobart specifically that doesn't allow electric engines or non-fossil fuel. You have to have a diesel engine. So that's a big issue. These new boats that are coming out, they're perfectly suited for electric engines, but the rules state, particularly for the Hobart, that you have to have a diesel engine.
No, but in the interest of innovation, innovation doesn't happen unless you kind of force it in one way or the other. Volvo,
Agreed.
Yanmar, Nanny, whoever they are, they will never do anything apart from their 1960 diesel block. They can change a few things here and there. But unless you change the rules to make it, you must be fossil fuel free.
Yep.
Nothing will happen.
But
Jordan, you've been part of this discussion.
Yep.
Previously.
Look, I'm with you on the Energy Observer. I love it. Like, it's when you look at the boat, it's powered by, it's got two wing masts, wing sails on it. But in reality, it's predominantly solar panels, like 140 square meters of solar panels. But it uses those solar panels to actually oxidize or electrolyze the water to create hydrogen. So if you run an electric current through water, you get hydrogen and oxygen splitting off, and you get those two. And so it's got hydrogen engines. So it can actually, it uses the sun to create hydrogen, uses the hydrogen to drive the engines. It's I love it. I mean, this is how all power should be. This methodology is wind, hydrogen, solar. That combination is just the perfect combination in my mind. So I'm massively behind this boat as well.
But how do the big oil companies make money from that?
Oh, they can run their own. I mean, never-ending power cycles.
You
like
see,
that.
that's my point.
Well, you know what's going to
That's been
happen.
the point all along.
The honest truth is, some national government is going to just wake up to this one day and just go, you know what, we can just set this all up and provide all the power for the world. They'll just set up a massive facility. Let's just provide all the power for the world, and they'll sell it, and then the oil companies will have nothing because one government will work it out, or one billionaire will work it out, and we've got enough mega billionaires.
Hang on. Don't stop telling us.
So
why don't we do it?
What are we doing? Yeah, good on you.
That's what I'm saying. Why doesn't a race take a stand and say they will not accept boats that have traditional? Well, they'll only accept boats that have fossil-free solutions. And then that will force evolution, because at the minute, who's actually, apart from projects like this, who's actually doing it?
Yeah, no one.
Well,
And we've
Universities.
talked about it all year, but we've talked about it all year about sustainability and these big events promoting sustainability. And you're right, Bicey, they still revolve around diesel engines.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's still contradicting. So I would like to see it as well. Yeah, 100%.
All right, so we want more. We're happy. We're happy to promote Energy Observer. Look on their webpage. Just Google that one. And it's a really important. Trying to save the world, empowering the world without using reusable resources is a really, really important thing. But far more important is what's happening with Bar Karate beer.
Oh, just exciting.
Do you like that segue?
Exciting.
Come on.
First of all, man, I'm going to ask you, and because this kind of segues, combines with our other segment of what beer are we drinking this week? So can I first of all ask that question? BP,
Yep.
What are you on?
Yeah. I had. I'm actually just on a clean, refreshing, very cold. Now I'm talking a glass that's got ice on it. You know one of those glasses you pull out of the freezer and it's got ice on it.
Good.
Very
Yep.
cold. Two is new.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, but
Good
it's
one.
freezing cold. I'm talking freezing cold.
J-Dog?
Well, I sent you guys a photo. I went and bought a 6-pack of everything.
Yes.
Did you guys have a look at that?
Yeah, I
A
did.
6-pack of everything.
Yeah.
I did, really. I wanted to
did
know
see
how
that.
Dolly's bockles went.
Dolly's Bockles. I haven't had a go on that one yet. I've got the Blue Moon Belgian White. I've got the single fin.
Blue Moon.
I've got the John Boston Summer Ale, the White Rabbit White Ale, and the Four Pines Pale Ale. So I'm going down the ale path, I think is the
Ale.
safe. I do
Yeah.
like an ale.
Yeah.
And I got a pale lager. So 5 ales and a pale lager.
So I must say that you're heading down the right path.
Mm.
But first of all, I've been on the Peroni Lageiras, which is the mid-strength.
Yes,
Peroni.
you have. Yes,
I
you
must
have.
say
You
it's
have.
a bloody good one.
It is. It is a really
apart
good
from
drink.
the couple of cartons of Pale Ale, Coopers when you were at my house this week, Brett. But I must admit, I've been a little slack in the take-up of the Bar Karate beer movement in the last months. But fear no more, Bar Karatians. Things have started to really take pace. So this week I've spoken to a few key executives to kind of point us in the right direction. And every single one has said, okay, make sure you set up legally first in the sense of, a beverage and food and blah, 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 all that sort of thing. And I'm like, yeah,
Blah, blah,
we'll take care of that. Don't worry about it. The Bar Karatians, I'll let Jordan take care of that sort of stuff. But we also have other special things to consider. We got the labeling side. So we need to come up with our not only, we talked some shit about our T-shirts and stuff, but the Bar Karate beer labeling is a big, big thing. Then we have to also consider the minimal purchase. Like, how many do we buy? How many do we commit to? How many do we actually fund? And then who are we going to sell them to? So that's kind of the business side. But as for the beer drinking side, well, we can
That's a given. That's a given.
Yeah, that's a given. So put it this way. I've looked into it. We have almost 350 yacht clubs in Australia. And if we just start off on that and we sell 2 cartons, say just a lazy 2, we can easily sell 1,000 cartons of beer. So I'm going
Over what
deep.
time period, though? What time period?
Oh, about 2 weeks.
First week. They just all have to buy one.
So just to kind of wrap this up, a few decisions to be made. What do we want? A lager, an ale. My research is a lager takes longer to make. It's a bit more, not necessarily better. An ale these days has they're producing some pretty good ales. So basically next week I'm going to present to you 2 guys our game plan. We're going to visit a couple of breweries. We're going to have a few tastes. We're going to adjust a few tastes. It's not like a overnight thing, but
it's a full week.
Yeah, well, within 3 minutes. But the timeline will be given next week on how we take this on and take it forward. But essentially, Jordan's going to take care of all the admin stuff this week. And then it's up to the rest of us to just drink beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be at your house for a couple of days, so we'll agree on that process, and then we'll go from there. The important thing is we don't want to name it after some sort of virus.
No, so I was thinking of going with the coronavirus because, as you've said, it's already been named as a virus.
Yeah.
So we cannot be in a worse place.
Yeah, it's pre-disastered. Pre-disastered. Yeah. This is a discussion.
I wanted what that word was in the little run sheet. Pre-disastered.
Yeah, it's a philosophy. Like if somebody's crashed in a car into your house or something, then you buy that house because it's already been disastered.
It's been pre-crashed.
Yeah. The safest time to fly is after a plane crash.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. So maybe we just
pre-crashed.
We could call our beer bird flu.
I was thinking SARS.
Baccarati SARS ale.
Baccarati, the swine flu beer.
Baccarati bubonic plague beer.
Black Death.
No. We won't do that.
Flu.
We'll just go Baccarati ale if it's ale or whatever. All right, we'll just move on. But
all right, we're just so we're just going to keep it at Baccarati then.
But we are progressing. Yeah, Baccarati progressing.
Do you know what I love?
And all right. I know. All right. So final statement.
Yep.
We've spoke a bit of shit. Windsurfer World, 505, VX1. Oh, we'll do the VX1. But Baccarati beer is definitely happening.
Yeah.
I reckon our aim is to have something out prior to the Australian opening days, which is kind of September,
October.
Yeah.
That's actually really clever. I like that. Yep, let's do that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You've been thinking, haven't you, boys?
He's a smart man.
No, nothing. No. I'm lying down in my swag.
All right, we're running out of time, boys.
You've got there. Oh, we are.
We should move on. Should we move on? I do want to plug the 470 Worlds are starting later on this week.
Good.
Oh, shit. Another one.
Stop.
Bloody hell.
We're going to have to bip this episode, and I don't like editing. So 470 Worlds starting in Spain, actually on Mallorca at, I've got a mental blank, at, it's coming to me, Palma, just near Palma.
Oh,
yeah.
Just near Palma.
Yeah, Club Nordic El Arenal, which is just slightly south of Palma, if you know your island. So big event, another Worlds before the Olympics. So we just sort of plug that out there from 13 to 21 March. So we'll have a bit of a look at it. It will still be going by the time we record again next week. Just thought I'd let everyone know. Another thing, just to let people know, we mentioned so much the Teakle Classic, the Adelaide to Brisbane, Adelaide to Lincoln.
Adelaide.
Yeah, you'll get why I got confused in a sec. The Brisbane to Gladstone, the 72nd running of the Brisbane to Gladstone is on the 10th of April.
Yes.
The J-Dog, he will be providing commentary so you can stream the race live on the Brisbane to Gladstone website, on their Facebook site, or even news media outlets. So if you are a subscriber to any of the news media, they will stream onto there as well. So that'll be a bit of fun. We'll be talking about the Brisbane to Gladstone coming up, but that's another classic event on the Australian calendar. Probably see Itchy Barn there giving it a red hot go just for one more race.
I might go and see if I can do that one.
Yeah, you should, mate. You should. I'll be able to talk about you non-stop.
Yeah, well, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
That'll be a change up.
Anyway.
Someone taking the words out of your mouth, BP.
All right, so just letting people know, we'll remind you a bit closer to the end, but just if you're interested, it'll be a good race. We'll talk about the start. Normally downwinder off the start. We got some interesting emails. Do we have time to run through some of those, guys?
I think we do. I think we got to.
Okay.
People are emailing in. We've got to give them the airtime.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, you do it.
All right.
No, okay. I'll take it on, fellas. So first of all, we get plenty in, but there's only a few, unfortunately, that we can mention every week. So first of all, this was from a couple of weeks ago, which I mentioned was from Ross Vickers, who is mentioning the Blowcart Land Sailing World Championship
these things are
in
cool.
New Zealand in October. Now, get this. Racing's in two classes, production and performance.
Yeah.
Each class is divided into 4 weight divisions. Rules are almost the same as sailing, but adjusted just to be a little bit easier. Races are windward lured, short go-kart track style or beach racing with an upwind short leg. 2-minute countdown, 8-minute races. Courses are set for about 4 laps. When the 8-minute time limit runs out, the checkered flag goes up and you finish the lap you're on. The result is sorted by most laps, then lowest time to find the winner. Everyone is finished in their race within 2 minutes of the flag going up, so the next race can get underway. 4 races are held each hour, no break for lunch. You just have a sausage sizzle all day. Women, children, disabled sailors, everyone competes together. And the race officer never waits for the wind to settle in. The wind range is 5 to 35. Don't worry if the line is square, just get on with it. And socially, it is on. It's basically like you're going to Bunnings.
Yep.
Like you're clearing out the Bunnings car park.
That is the
You've
perfect.
got the sausages going up. It's
That would
so
be perfect.
good. I love it.
Yep.
I seriously love it.
So,
So
I know it hasn't been
Ross,
said, but it's a Baccarati challenge.
yeah,
Another one.
so good. So good.
Dear. All right.
We got a few, and this is, I'm just going to say this one. Title, Keep It Up.
Oh, Neil, Spain.
from
This
Neil,
is a
Spain.
great email. We love this one.
No, not Brett Semi. Only aware of the show after someone in the local yacht club here in Dublin shared a link on Facebook to the Harold Cudmore episode and have since binge listened to all the back episodes, laughing out loud at times on the train to work. I found that I fall in and out of love with our great sport, but listening to you guys just makes you want to get out on the water. Only downside, as I spend half the day saying, "You idiot," in my head, an Aussie accent to most of the people in the office. Keep it up, and already looking forward to Monday morning and new episodes. Neil Spain, love your work, mate.
Love your work.
That is so good.
That was a good one.
That is so good.
Really good one.
Nice email.
Because we're getting so many good messages and stuff, we're going to actually do a couple of things. You guys want to bring in a lucky draw? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
We had a big brainstorming session about this down in Bicey's the other day when I was lucky enough to be there in the studio, and go for it. Have a chat, Bicey.
So the notion behind the lucky draw is that if you go and register on Barkarati, the website, we'll get your names. We're not going to advertise. We're not going to send you anything. It's just our mates. So you come in, you put your name down, and we'll spin the wheel, and you'll win a prize if we can find prizes. Remember, we don't make any money out of this show, so we'll just try and scrounge things where we can get them. But
you have to subscribe to the website. So basically, go down to the website, bottom of the line, subscribe now, subscribe here, put your email address on, and that'll be in the draw.
Yep. And as we said, we don't do this show to make money or advertise or push anything. So we're not sharing your info with anyone. We're just doing it for fun. All right, that's it. There's no ulterior motive. The other one we want to do, and we haven't worked this out yet, but we want to actually create a page on our website for people. We get so many people contacting us and sending us CVs and trying to get us to help them get sailing gigs, pro sailing gigs. We want to actually try and create a page where we can actually facilitate that because we want to see everyone get their chance. So we will do that at some stage. We have no clue how we're going to do it. But I think that's what we want to do. Yeah, we're all agreed on that one.
What we're going to do, I'm going to IKEA.
Yeah.
I'm putting up a pegboard and saying, any sailors put up your stuff here. Got to take a photo every week and just do a photo. No, but seriously.
People underestimate the power of IKEA.
What we want is a one-pager, or the elevator pitch, as they call it, that we can put on our on the corkboard. Call it.
Yeah.
We only received a message from one of my young friends from Germany, Julius, the other day, asking us for some assistance. So that's how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to help. We are genuinely trying to help as much as we can. So
and Julius, we are trying. We will. Don't worry. Stand by.
Yep, stand by. All right. Happy days, gentlemen. We've chewed up all our time once again, so that means the T-shirt design thing gets pushed another day.
Oh, lucky you guys. How convenient.
Yeah, how convenient.
But we need to. I need to chuck one in there.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Merchandise.
Yep.
I've been asked 2 times now this week.
Yeah.
About the Barkarati flag.
Oh yeah.
Where BP, being the minister in charge, have you got anything for the listeners?
Well, I did post the other day that it seems to be popping up strangely around the world without us actually doing anything about it. I'm wondering if it's actually some sort of virus.
Oh, the Barkarati virus.
Barkarati flag virus.
I think my my response was there is a cure. There is a cure, and the cure is fun. If you have fun, the Barkarati flag will disappear, and it will eventually just leave you normal. And as
but what if people want a battle flag?
No. I think you missed the point.
Yeah, you're completely missing the point. People want battle flags. It seems. Is that? So you've got the artwork on a. So we can send them a link, and they can get it printed.
We can.
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to use this recording to reach out to our good mate Nathan Quirk.
Oh yeah.
Put together 3 different sizes: large, medium, small.
I'm sure Nathan
come back to us.
I'm sure Nathan.
And we will make these available on our merchandise page very, very soon.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a good idea. If you want a Barkarati battle flag. Actually, if you want to, apart from just emailing us, you can send us an audio file if you have a question. There's nothing stopping you putting an audio file. We can actually, we're super high tech. We can throw it in. Go on, Bicey, do it. I know what you're going to do.
Audio file? Holy shit. They send a beta cassette as well.
Oh, you're so predictable. I knew that was coming. We're not setting a WhatsApp up.
Shall we record it?
We're not setting a WhatsApp up because the phone will ring non-stop, all right? Just send an audio file. Then we don't have to deal with
all
it.
Right. Dial Jordan Spencer, 0419.
Yeah, you idiot. All right. Shall we wind up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's wind her up.
Okay, last week's quiz question. How long were Japan and Montenegro at war with each other over the last century? 101 years. So
I think
Jules
our
Perry was
our greatest fan.
1 year off.
1 year off. Yes,
He
our
was
greatest
close.
fan.
Yep. Montenegro technically was at war with Japan for 101 years as they signed a peace treaty in 2006. Montenegro was aligned with Russia in the Russo-Japanese War, and they declared war on Japan, but forgot to declare peace after the war. So technically they've been at war for 101 years, only having peace in 2006.
Forgot to declare peace. I love it.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Quiz question for this week is, you'll get this straight away if you've started to work out how I do these. Where did the world's first heart transplant take place? Where?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Good one. I knew that.
Montenegro.
No. I must be hard navigating with you, BP, because you always go the opposite direction to where we're going.
Well, would they do it in Montenegro?
Oh, you idiot. You idiots. Righto. It's been fun.
See you later.
Bicey's, I hope a snake bites you tonight, mate. Yeah.
In your swag. Look at you in your swag there. Yeah, go on.
See you later, everyone.
See ya.